Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode in MongoDB tutorials. So in this video, we will try to understand how to update an existing document in a MongoDB collection. So let us assume that we have this particular documents in a MongoDB collection named records, in which we have name and roll number of students. So we want to update some of these documents based on some request and some parameters. So there are basically two ways to update documents in PyMongo. So which is update one and update many. So we'll see examples of both of them. So we'll start with update one. So update one, as the name suggests, and similar to insert one and delete one, it acts only on the first occurrence of query matching. So we will update the document based on our query, and update one will make sure that it only acts on the first occurrence of the query matching, right? So let us take an example in which uh, we want to update a record having a roll number 18, and we want to update its name from Aman to Aman Kumar, right? So as you can see, a roll number of 18 contains a name of Aman, but let's say there was a human error and it didn't, we have to update it now with the full name. So we have to replace Aman with Aman Kumar. So how to do that? So first of all, we have to write collection name, which is my collection, and then we have to use update. But before that, we have to make a query, since we are searching for a roll number, specific roll number in our collection. So we will save a query. So we'll have block markers, and we'll have the attribute name, which is roll, and we'll save 18 as its value. Now the values that we have to set, or the new values, we have to store it as well. So the format of storing the new values, let's say the new values are in the variable which is values, again in block markers. Now there is here to note, one thing to note is we have to use this set $set keyword in a string format. So this will essentially indicate that we have to set these values to the match, or the to the match documents, right? So in this, we have to again make a set of block markers, and here we will specify the attributes that we have to update with its corresponding value. So since we have to replace the name from Aman to Aman Kumar, so we will set name equals to Aman Kumar, right? If there are multiple attributes to be reset, then you can specify comma and the rest of the key value pairs uh, by a comma separated way. Else you can end the parenthesis, sorry, not parenthesis, but block markers, and you're done. So we have the queries and we have the values. So now we will use update one, update underscore one, and we will save as query. We'll give query as an input and values as the second argument, and we will again, since we are going to get some returning object which will indicate the update operation was successful or not. So we can save that in X, and X can also be checked for updated count. So you can do that on your own. So I will run this query, and the query is successfully executed. Let's try to see the reflection on the collection. So as you can see now, Aman is replaced by Aman Kumar, and with having the roll number 18. So this has updated successfully. So this was for updating a single document. Let's say I want to update multiple documents. So let's say my query is something like this. So we want to replace, or we want to update our documents which has a name that starts with the letter M. So what we have to do is we have to change the roll number, whatever the roll numbers are, to a number 100. So you got my point. So if you see our collection, we have two names which are starting with M. So which is, one is Murtaza and one is Manan, right? So since these documents are having the names which are starting with M, we want to update the roll numbers. So we are for this is a small example which where we have only two documents, but in real life or in real life data, we might have hundreds of documents such like this. So in that case, we have to use update many function, to execute our task. So first, again, like we did in the previous example, we have to define a query. So for this purpose, for this particular problem, we will use regex. So what we have to do is we have to query on name. So we will use query. So we will use name as the attribute to be query to be condition, and then in this I will use regex again in single quotes, and then we will specify a regular expression. So this is very simple. If the first element is m, so here this particular symbol denotes the first letter, and we are checking it for m. So if the first letter is m, it will return the set of documents which are having this condition as true. And what we have to do is we have to set some values, which is roll number equals to 100. So we will specify roll number, which is roll equals to 100. So this is our query, and this is our values to be set. What we have to do now is just have to apply x equals to my collection dot update underscore many. And then we have to provide the query and the values. Okay, so let us execute this particular query, and we have an error. Oh, sorry, I forgot, I made a mistake. This should be set. This should be set in single quotes. With this in a parenthesis, or sorry, not in block markers. And so now the values are in set roll number 100. Now if we execute this will run fine. And let us see if this has the effect or not. So for I in my collection dot find print I. So as you can see, the roll numbers of Manan and Murtaza are converted to or are transformed to 100 from whatever their initial numbers were. So this is done successfully. So that's it in this video. Thank you for your time and thank you for your patience. If you have any comments or questions, you can ask in the comment section.